Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's me. I hope you all are doing well. We're gonna do something a little different with this trailer reaction because I saw it. I saw it while I watched Avatar Way of Water. I tried shielding my eyes, but I still sort of heard it, so I sort of accepted my fate and I'm like, well, I pretty much saw it. So I'm gonna watch it again with you guys, and then I already watched Grace Randolph's live reaction and shot by shot. And then I pulled up the Wikipedia article on the High Evolutionary because I didn't know anything about him and I want to dive into it because there is something there that I'm like, oh, maybe this can give way to plot points in the movie without too many spoilers. So let's get into it. And I will say, I thought it was medium. I thought it was okay. You're a little loud.
We were gone for quite a while. But no matter what happens next,
Gone from where?
the galaxy still needs its guardians.
I hate these suits.
Hello, we
I think they
come
look bad.
in peace.
So I think this is Counter Earth.
Come on, Drax. Seriously,
Such a
dude?
bad idea.
No.
I'm surprised that would hurt Drax. Fun music choice.
Don't forget where we came from.
Among Us suits, even though it's not.
Our whole lives. Pete, I'm done running.
From your past. And I hate that. I have High Evolutionary.
We'll all fly away together.
So I think Rocket's dying.
Last time.
One last time.
Into the forever. That beautiful sky.
Hi, Otter. I don't think Adam Warlock looks that good. He said it again. Woo!
And we'll kill anyone who gets in our way.
No, not kill anyone.
Kill a few people.
Kill no people.
Kill one guy, one stupid guy who no one loves.
Now you're just making it sad.
Yeah. I think it's fine, the trailer. I just wish there was I don't know if more, but I wanted to see more of the High Evolutionary because I don't really know who he is. I had to do a Google search and I had to watch Grace's video who sort of explained it without giving too many spoilers away. But I didn't find that super helpful. But we really only saw the High Evolutionary 2 or 3 times in this trailer, and then one time it's alluded that it's him. It's not clear, and I don't really get why he's our villain, except for the fact that he's tied into Rocket Raccoon's origin. They said they've been gone a long time. You think they'd be doing something that's more threatening and galactic, plot heavy, but this seems sort of condensed in a small space, unless the High Evolutionary is doing something crazy. Because again, when I read his Wikipedia, there was some drama llama. I won't pull it up, but I will talk about it. I'll show my face cam because there's no need for you to see the Wikipedia page. There's a lot of stuff in the comics referring to him that will not exist in this movie because there's ties to Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch and the Silver Surfer and Jessica Drew's dad, and that's just not relevant, and also Inhuman stuff. So that's not really gonna be present. But basically, his initial story, his name is Herbert Edgar Wyndham, and he is British, and he was a student at Oxford, and he is a geneticist. He was building a machine that he called the genetic accelerator, which is evolving rats in his basement, pretty much. He gets approached at a conference in Geneva by an Inhuman geneticist named Fader. I believe that's how you pronounce it, Phaeder. And it gives him, and this Inhuman geneticist gives him the code, the blueprints to crack the code on genetics. And so he is able to create a serum he calls Isotope A. He gets expelled. He evolves his pet Dalmatian Dempsey into a humanoid life form, but Dempsey gets shot by Poacher, so I don't know if that will play an element at all. Again, I don't even know this will even take place on Earth, because we'll get into that later. but he went to Wundagore Mountain, which I believe, which is where we saw Scarlet Witch last, which again, I don't think that's gonna tie in, but he went there to pretty much like create experiments. And then there's stuff involving werewolves and Marvel Boy. And then he used his genetic acceleration on local animals and turned them into half human, half animal beings that he dubs the New Men, which we see featured in this trailer heavily. And I believe the planet that they're on is called Counter Earth. I don't know how they'll get into it. And again, there's a bunch of other stuff going on. There's even stuff, apparently High Evolutionary was not in his human form, but returned to his human form and created Counter Earth. It was supposed to be a temporary structure that was going to be like his utopia. It was imperfect. And he actually tries to fuse his counterworld with actual Earth later. I don't know if it's successful. Again, I didn't go that far. Apparently the High Evolutionary adopts Adam Warlock, who we see in this trailer as well, and bestowed him with the Soul Gem. And again, I don't know how that's going to work here because the Soul Gem was used in Infinity War and Endgame and was used by Gamora and Black Widow. So I don't know how it's going to work. Apparently there's a character also named Man Beast. I think he was an underling of High Evolutionary, but I think there's also a Low Evolutionary guy. So I don't know. It gets really complicated. It's interesting, but I'm like, that you can't squeeze this all in. But I believe they're simplifying the plot so that the High Evolutionary is going to try and perfect his counter Earth, either by attacking Earth or by attacking another planet. And then we're going to see that High Evolutionary helped create Rocket Raccoon. And then, I don't know, Rocket Raccoon probably wants revenge or some vendetta against the High Evolutionary for causing him trauma and doing stuff maybe without his permission, and then he's gonna die. I think that's how it's gonna go. We see tubes and we see Peter Quill crying, so I believe that's what's gonna happen. Anyway, let's go back to the trailer now, just to sort of break it down, and I can show you where my thought process is at. I hope that wasn't too much of verbal barf. I just wanted to keep you guys informed, because I think it's important for you guys to know. And again, like, it was kind of weird for me to look that up and, like, read it, and I'm like, God, this is, like, how are you gonna make this make sense? Again, I hate these suits. I believe they're in these suits because they're working with the Nova Corps. And if we can get Sam Alexander's Nova introduced in this movie, that'd be great, because I'm assuming we're going to need a new lineup of Guardians. Dave Bautista and Bradley Cooper are both confirmed that they will not be playing their characters for much longer a few years ago. So I'm assuming this is the last movie for Drax and for Rocket. So there's going to be spots open. So let's see what happens. And again, I don't know what they mean by we've been gone. Were you taking a break from doing Guardian things because you were sad about Gamora and, you know, Thanos was gone, so things sort of like returned to normal? This also might involve Galactus, because apparently there was a thread in the Wikipedia article saying that Galactus was trying to devour Counter-Earth, so there may be some sort of a tease to the next Thanos here, but I don't know. But I don't know what you mean by gone. Maybe you were getting trained up. I believe, forget, this is named after someone. I think it's Bowie. I think this is the Bowie ship. They name the ships after, I think, music groups or like really famous singers from the 80s that Peter Quill knows, and I believe this is after David Bowie. This kind of looks like Earth, but again, I think there's some differences. Like that, I think is supposed to emulate the Statue of Liberty, but this does not look like the New York skyline. Maybe that's Jersey because there's all this stuff over here, but I believe this is Counter-Earth. Don't hold me to that. From what I read in the Wikipedia article and shared with you here, there are creatures that are half human, half animal that were shown here that the High Evolutionary created. So I'm assuming they would be on Counter-Earth. I don't know why they're here. I don't know why the Nova Corps has, like, sent them here. Maybe they're getting debriefed by the Nova Corps and they're like, okay, what mission are we allowed to go on? And then Rocket Raccoon, like, piques his interest because she's maybe the High Council lady who was in, I think, Guardians 2 or Guardians 1. I haven't seen the Guardians movies in a while, so forgive me if I'm rusty. Maybe she was like reading off stuff and she's like, oh, there's this other guy called the High Evolutionary that maybe we'll look into later, but not right now. But then Rocket Raccoon's like, I know him. We should go investigate that. If he's on your radar, he's up to no good. So I'm assuming that's how they're going to get tied into this. And if not, then we'll find out. Maybe Rocket's just having trauma nightmares. Who knows? But no matter what happens next, I like the coloring on this ship. I'm really into teal. My walls used to be teal, so this is really nice. And this is like an interesting maroon color. I don't really see this color combination used, so this is interesting. It's not how I pictured the ship to look, but I think it's pretty cool. This is giving me She-Hulk vibes with the car getting run off by an alien ship dropping down on Earth. And again, I think that's what they're supposed to symbolize, but I don't believe there's a town on Earth that has these hybrids on them. I believe they're on their own planet called Counter Earth. Let's see if they'll keep the whole plot of the High Evolutionary being from Earth and being exiled and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. He seems pretty surprised. He's like, this looks like Earth, but that's not how I remember humans looking. The galaxy still needs its guardians. I don't think the suit is really flattering on Nebula. I don't know why. Fire the tailor who worked on you, Karen Gillan. They're not doing it justice. I don't think anyone looks particularly good in this. I didn't hate too much on Groot's look in the holiday special, but I'm not liking it here. There's one shot that I kind of liked, but then I'm like, no. You shouldn't have this bobblehead on this normal looking body or normal Groot looking body. You shouldn't have baby Groot's head anymore. But these are all, I think, the new men. We come in peace. Really good prosthetics and VFX on them. I wonder how much of it is real, because there's some of it that does look VFX-y. This actually looks pretty prosthetic-y. He just looks like he's wearing a fucking hat. Like, he just looks like a furry in the wild. While this one, I'm like, oh, you actually look quite good. He looks like someone you would see in, like, the Power Rangers show whenever they tied in with aliens, like with SPD Emergency. And she's kind of cute, but she's a little too VFX-y. I don't get what she's doing, and I don't get why he would think to throw this at a child's head. He used to have daughters. You think he would be like gentle and we'd see like a cute side of him, but no, they're playing it for laughs. I don't like it. And everyone else is freaked out. No do nada. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but it's like, you're a bad boy. I think he's a cockatiel. Interesting that he's a bird. Or I think he's a bird. He looks kind of kangaroo-y and rat. It's interesting. I think it's just they don't go crazy with like chimeras, like I think it's solely like one animal and then humanoid. They're not like doing crossbreeds like with the Logan Paul nonsense and his crypto whatever. I forget what that was called, but I heard about it on, I think, Phil DeFranco's channel. James Gunn. What's the name of the song? It's catchy. God, I just want it. In the Meantime by Space Hog. I think it's a good music choice, but it's a little soft. Again, I guess it's supposed to be like the final chapter of sorts for this team as we know it. I don't know when we'll see the Guardians again. I don't know if it depends how this movie does. If it gets reinvigorated like Thor Ragnarok did for Thor, maybe it can earn a fourth movie, but we'll get their trilogies. But I feel like it's still important to have them present in the Cosmos section of Marvel, but it feels a little forced. Again, I think it needs to be reworked. This is James Gunn's last go with Disney, because now he's the head of Warner Brothers and has a ton of other shit to do. And I get it, you're upset. And if you haven't seen the holiday special / my reaction to the trailer and then my little review at the end of the trailer reaction, we find out Peter is still moping over Gamora, and we find out that Mantis and Peter are half siblings. I hope that Mantis is able to be a support for him. One girl should not ruin this guy's whole life. I know he also lost Yondu, who was like his dad. What was it? He may be your father, but he sure ain't your daddy. You know, that's like one of the best lines ever. Don't forget. Very sweet. So yeah, I think this is on our Earth, and that's the High Evolutionary, though we can't tell, and then this is Baby Raccoon, Rocket. And I think he's having some PTSD. Where's his suit? I guess Rocket needs to man the ship, and so does Groot, unless Groot's in here. Okay, there's Peter, Mantis, Nebula, Drax, someone. I don't know. I'm curious to see how Gamora's gonna fit into all this, because people have been theorizing that she is like a captain of the Ravengers because of her outfit, which I'm not really a fan of. I mean, Thanos isn't around, so she like kind of needs to do her own thing. But like, I kind of wanted her to just be metal and solo. But clearly, the Ravengers have a connection to Peter Quill, so she's obviously going to come across a Polaroid with him and be like, maybe like it's a picture of her with Peter. And then she's like, God, was I ever that soft? I want to see how Gamora can take the mantle of dangerous woman in the galaxy. That is what she is known as in the comics. But she's never lived up to that title in the movies. So I want to see Zoe Saldana kick-ass. She was very kick-ass in Way of Water, so bring it here, baby. And I'm curious what's happening here. There's Cosmo the dog. I believe they're Russian. There's Mantis, Drax. I'm curious why Nebula is carrying him and what happened to Peter. Rocket looks like he's ready to fuck shit up. He has his drink. And there's Kraglin. I'm gonna remember your name, Sean Gunn. I'm gonna remember your character's name, and you're not just James Gunn's brother. And then there's weird-looking Groot. I'm not a fan of it. I like Mantis' outfit here, and again, we're seeing that the looks that the Guardians had in Thor Love and Thunder are not sitting here. She doesn't have her little headpiece. Continuity. I don't like that Drax is wearing a shirt. Maybe Drax was feeling insecure. And see, he's saying, I'm done running. And I believe that's Gamora, because that looks kind of green. Unless it's like Mantis. And that's Peter. That's Drax. And I don't know who that is. That could be Nebula. But again, he's like facing his past, having to live with it, and I believe he's going to die. I hate this. I believe this might be what Counter Earth looks like. I don't know. It's supposed to be imperfect because I think there was something that was supposed to help make it a paradise, but I don't know, the High Evolutionary couldn't achieve it for some reason. So this is ugly, and this looks like a prolapsed anus. I hate it. It's also giving a little bit of ego vibes, so it's not exactly original either, which kind of sucks. It also looks kind of quantum realmy, which isn't a good thing either. I don't really get how it works. It's gross though. But there he is. There's the back of High Evolutionary's head. I don't know who this is. I'm assuming this is one of his other creations. I don't know why they look more human than all of his other creations, but maybe we'll divulge into why. Maybe there's something on her face that makes her more distinctly inhuman, but like she just looks like a girl with a wig. And then I guess he's like analyzing to see if his experiments are going well. Maybe this is his Dalmatian that's been humanized. Here's Gamora looking badass. I appreciate the stance. I'm not crazy about her new hair. It looks kind of damaged, but like it does kind of look like ragged and like she looks like a badass. And I believe this is more of Counter-Earth. And again, this is why I believe Drax might be dying because, you know, he's hella injured. I don't know how Gamora gets here, but there's a part of me that appreciates they're back in like a prison, or they're back in like their misfit ways. Like they all met in a prison and now they're kind of going back to that route, which I think is when Guardians really worked, because I really liked the first movie and I think the second movie was fun, but I don't know. Again, I have to watch them again. It's been so long. But that's how I know them from. Like they're these like muscreants that kind of banded together haphazardly and they end up working. I think Gamora, she looks glam and gorgeous here. Her eye makeup looks stunning. So I'm assuming they got captured. They're probably going to be part of some experiment and maybe they caused some sort of antics. There's all these guys flying around, but maybe that's because Counter-Earth isn't perfected yet, so there's, you know, shit happening. Because there seems to be people in the background floating uncontrollably, but they seem fine. Oh, so Mantis is in orange. I think Drax is in red. Send the face of music. We'll all fly together. So that seems like a death sort of thing. You can even see like the tech underneath him like showing. Maybe this is him when he's younger though, because there's pellets. So this is like him developing. And I think, again, he's going through trauma because he's going through unauthorized, unorthodox experimentation against his will. And then this is probably, I don't know who this is, but maybe it's the low evolutionary? Because again, he has like a subordinate, but I don't believe that's the high evolutionary. That doesn't look like his headpiece and he's wearing all white. Doesn't seem right. One last time. When I saw that line, I immediately thought of Hamilton. I know this song came first, but I wonder what they're celebrating here. But it's nice to see Nebula happy because we've seen her sad a lot of the time. Maybe this is like showing that like while some people are not thriving, she has finally found her place. Because like she always wanted to impress Thanos and be under his wing, but now that like she's on her own, but she found this like other family that feels more like a family, she's living it up. And there he is. He has this weird thing on his chin. That's a choice. And again, I believe this is also high evolutionary. We just can't see him, but this is like alluding to the experimentations. And again, he's really upset here. You can see the spit. And this is looks like a life support tube. So I'm assuming this is Rocket dying. It could be Drax, but I'm assuming it's Rocket because the center of this movie seems to be Rocket. And I believe this is a character from the comics. I don't remember their name, but they're an otter. And they're really cute, and I like them together. But this doesn't seem to last long, because again, Rocket's probably gonna die. Oof. And I believe that is a love interest. I don't know if like they ever get like married. And this reminds me of the monster that they fought in the opening of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where Baby Groot's dancing, and like Drax got swallowed up, and he's like, ah! With his weapons. Very entertaining scene. There's Adam Warlock. I'm not happy with the way this looks. Again, I don't know if that's the soul gem, because again, Vision has had that, but it's also like in him. There's probably some other technology behind it. I also don't like his suit. It's kind of giving me Iron Man vibes, and I'm not into it. And I know people are not super thrilled with his casting. I'm blanking on the actor's name, but I think we haven't seen what he's done yet. We haven't even heard him talk. I'm intrigued. Also, I'm curious how he's going to work with the High Evolutionary, because we saw him teased at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 with the gold people. And I believe these are separately cut shots. Oh no, that's Adam Warlock. Oh, he has a cape. Oh, I don't like that you have a cape. It's kind of lame. He's sort of supposed to be, the best way to compare him to is like Homelander from The Boys. So maybe it makes sense for him to have the cape, but I'm not really into it. And again, this suit just looks kind of messy. I don't really get how it works. And it looks so distinctly like every other suit that it like doesn't look good. You know, it looks like it's come out of the Marvel superhero suit closet, and it's boring. I wonder why he's fighting Nebula, and also if this looks like it's more on like the headquarters home planet of the Guardians than it is Counter-Earth. And again, she's sad again. So I'm assuming, again, this is where Rocket's dying. And we see Gamora team up with them, but we don't know why. And I don't get why. Again, we have to tie in the Ravengers as well. Like, it just seems complicated. Unless there's something, like there's a bounty on the High Evolutionary's head, and so the Ravengers are getting involved to make money. I don't know. This looks so strange. This looks like he's in the Harry Potter Half-Blood Prince scene when Dumbledore's talking with Harry. Or no, that was the end of Deathly Hallows, wasn't it? Spoilers. I was gonna call him Gandalf because I just watched Lord of the Rings recently for the first time. Dumbledore and Harry are talking on the like white train station, and there's like evil, creepy little fetus Voldemort there. This looks very strange. Unless it's a memory, I don't know. I do appreciate that we get to hear him say, "We are Groot" again. I thought that was cute. And I think it's neat how he's using his arms to use more guns. But again, we've seen how capable Groot can be. So to see him just to use his limbs as extra arms for guns seems uncreative. It's not like innovated. It's not my favorite, but I think it's an interesting shot of him. And it's weird to see that like his arms sort of like create up the bulk of his body and that's like his actual torso, because OG Groot was like kind of lanky. I'm not crazy about this logo. It's kind of tame, but I guess it's supposed to be a little more serious, so maybe that makes sense. And I think this is a very comical scene. It looks like she's still wearing her space outfit from when they were exploring, and I think this is a funny line. When's Chewbacca? That's really sad, dude. It's 24 million. That's not bad for viewership. What did you guys think? I don't really know how to feel. I feel like I don't know if this is a trailer or a teaser. It feels more like an in-between teaser trailer. And I feel like I didn't get enough, but I'm like, okay, it's happening. Like, I don't really have high expectations, and I don't know where the story's going, and I need more crumbs to sort of stitch things together and to get me more hyped, because I'm not super hyped at the moment. And there's a part of me that's like, this seems like a obligation that James Gunn has to fill because he said he would, but he has bigger priorities, like figuring out how he's going to shape the DCEU going forward. He already fired Henry, and Gal's going to be gone. Ben Affleck's gone. I think Jason Momoa is going to be gone or play Lobo, which I don't know. That's going to be weird. And then, I don't know, is The Flash going to even come out? Is Aquaman 2 going to come out? Like, does it matter? Like, he has a lot on his plate. So this sort of feels like a obligation. And again, I know he probably worked on this film and got it to like final cut status way before he even became considered for the head of the Warner Brothers DCEU, but I feel like there's going to be those comparisons. So let me know your thoughts down below. Were you impressed with this trailer? Were you excited to see Adam Warlock? Did you want to see more of the High Evolutionary? Are you confused still about the High Evolutionary? Because I am, and I hope some of what I said could be stitched together and make sense. We'll see. Post me. Good luck. Like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye for now.